The sleek, high-speed Shinkansen, the pride of Japan's railway system, is ready for its journey. The Hayabusa number 60, bound for Tokyo, will depart from Shinaomori Station. But before that, the conductor, a man named Takaichi, shows a group of students around the station. He is a man that performs his duties with quiet efficiency, welcoming passengers aboard. He is a picture of calm professionalism, a stark contrast to the chaos that is about to unfold. Among the passengers, there is a notorious female politician, her assistant, and even a famous writer. While they prepare for takeoff, we see the control center. The general manager gives directives and ensures organization. Finally, after all checks are completed, the train is ready to depart. The conductor makes the relevant announcement. Passengers continue to settle in. Shortly after departure, the Shinkansen General Operation Control Center in Tokyo receives a chilling phone call. A distorted voice announces that a bomb has been planted on the Hayabusa number 60. The caller makes a terrifying demand. If the train's speed drops below 100 kilometers per hour, which is approximately 62 miles per hour, the bomb will detonate. He also states that he planted a bomb on a train at another location so that it would be understood that he is not joking. For that one, he gives the limit of 5 kilometers per hour. Even if the call center calls the relevant station immediately, they are too late. The bomber proves their threat by remotely detonating the freight train at another station. This act of destruction confirms the horrifying reality and escalates the situation to a national crisis. General Management Center comes into play. They get in contact with the control center and tells them to keep the speed of the passenger train close to but more than 100 kilometers per hour and do not let it stop at any station. Transport dispatcher calls the operator of the train and tells her to disable the automatic control and keep the speed manually. Likewise, the conductor is also called and asked to keep the information about the bomb secret from the passengers. A group of students, unaware of the situation, are having fun among themselves. Their teacher watches one of their students cautiously. The conductor announces that there will be no stopping at the next stop due to a problem. The special investigation team, the head of the railway company and the control center director come together. After a while, the caller demands a ransom of 100 billion yen, in other words, 700 million US dollars. This is not a typical ransom. The caller specifies that the money must be raised by the general public. The government is forced to acknowledge the threat. Therefore, special advisor to the Prime Minister arrives there and tells the control center to tell the passengers that there is a bomb on the train and that the situation must be reported to the public and the bomber's identity has to be revealed before the train arrives in Tokyo hours later. As soon as the conductor receives the directive, he announces the bomb to the passengers and chaos ensues. While some passengers do not know what to do, many go to question the conductor. Although the politician tries to turn the situation to her advantage, the passengers make fun of her bad reputation. The conductor calms the passengers down and asks them to take their seats. The bomb on the train is announced to the public through the press, but the bomber who called the center gets angry as the money he wants is not mentioned at all. Therefore, the bomber releases a video he had prepared in advance and causes increased chaos. The entire team begins analyzing the video and trying to find the wagon where the bomb is. But a critical incident occurs when another train stalls on the tracks ahead due to a bird strike. The Hayabusa number 60 is now on a collision course. They devise a daring plan to switch the train's route at the last possible moment. The maneuver is incredibly risky, requiring precise timing and nerves of steel. The assistant conductor warns the passengers to wait in safe positions. In a heart-stopping sequence, the Hayabusa number 60 narrowly avoids disaster, switching tracks at 105 kilometers per hour, but not without a collision with the rear car of another train. This collision causes damage, further complicating the situation. The train operator sets the speed to 120 kilometers per hour again. The passengers take a deep breath, but the danger is not over. The famous writer, who did not want to wait for the state to collect the money, makes a live broadcast and says that he opened a website for donations. Passengers support by spreading this on social media. The investigation team discovers that another incident from 1975 is very similar to this one and looks for a connection. The owner of a helicopter company that recently had a fatal accident is harassed by other passengers. He wants someone to push the SOS button, and even if a girl does that, the train does not stop. As the train hurtles towards Tokyo, the control center scrambles to find a solution. The engineers and dispatchers work tirelessly, facing unprecedented challenges. As the train continues its relentless journey, the control center devises a plan to divert it to Washinomiya. The plan involves a complex sequence of track switches designed to decouple the final two cars, containing the bomb, while allowing the first 6 cars to proceed to a controlled area where the bomb can be detonated with minimal damage. Passengers are told to move to the last car with only their essential belongings. The first phase of the operation begins, and the necessary electrical equipment is transferred to the passenger train by rope from another train. An electrician from the passengers performs the first intervention with the instructions he receives. Then the conductor steps in and manages to separate the cars. At the last moment, he jumps into the safe cars and escapes the part that slows down and explodes. Immediately afterwards, the rescue train with no bow approaches the passenger train, and the passenger transfer begins. While most of the passengers have been transferred, one of the young men is injured, and his friend says that the man who owns the helicopter company has gone crazy and attacked everyone around him. The student group reports that one of their friends has gone missing, and their teacher goes looking for her. She is followed by the politician woman, who is then followed by the writer after passengers cheering. While the politician woman is trying to calm the helicopter man down, the train suddenly starts shaking. Due to an electrical fault, the connection between the trains is cut off, and several passengers on the bomb train are trapped without being rescued. The teacher goes and finds her last student laying on the ground. The assistant conductor is seriously injured by the tremor, and the rear of the train suffers extensive damage. The management team argues that there is neither the time nor the technical means to rescue the remaining people using the same method. They and the remaining 9 passengers are aware that it would be a disaster if the train exploded after arriving in Tokyo. Passengers fear that authorities will stop the train before it reaches the city, risking it exploding. The student girl says she will call her family and goes to the other car, and the conductor calls the center with an idea and tells them that a connection can be made between the lines. Meanwhile, the student girl, who is talking to her father, tells him that she is fine. After her father says that he will kill the person who planted the bomb, the girl confesses that he cannot do that because she is the one who planted the bomb. After seeing her father's shocked face, she detonates the bomb that she planted in his room too. With a terrible feeling of happiness and relief on her face, the girl goes to the passengers and calls the center so that they can hear her confess everything. She says that the way to destroy the bomb on the train is to die herself. She tells them that a device placed in her heart due to her illness is the way to destroy the bomb. She has already risked death and waits for the passengers to come and kill her. Workers begin working intensively to make the train change on the lines possible. While the passengers argue over whether to kill the student girl or not, the investigators learn that the girl's mother died years ago, and her father was a cunning police officer who took unfair credit for a similar case in 1975. The girl tells her teacher, who is trying to understand why she is doing all this, that she is tired of fake emotions and that even her teacher is always watching her because of her family and its past. Investigators access the girl's social media accounts and find her texting with someone who has good knowledge of bombs and works at a company as a blasting expert. When the conductor says that his injured assistant needs to go to the hospital, the bomber student says that the solution is for one of them to kill her, but no one agrees to this. Then a decision is made from the political side, and the extension of the rail is requested to be stopped. Learning about this decision, the conductor, having no other option, tries to strangle the girl, but he cannot do it and only hugs her. The bomb expert who helped the girl is interrogated and confesses that he is the son of the bomber from the case that the girl's father had benefited from in the past. The government decides to stop the train, but when the team learns that there are bombs in 3 more cars, they think the explosion will be catastrophic, and they try to come up with a different plan, which is to separate the non-bomb cars by shearing them off in a passing maneuver. The passengers accept this plan and collect the objects on the train and set up a mechanism to keep themselves safe. They also help the train operator who cannot move her hand because of her concentration. Workers begin to block the tracks with barrel barriers full of water. The passengers even take the bomber girl with them and prepare for the collision. The train arrives at the switch point, and the rails of the passenger cars are changed. After the second switch is made, the passenger cars are separated from the bomb cars. The separated bomb cars explode as soon as they fall below 100 kilometers per hour. The passenger cars slow down by hitting the water-filled barrel barriers that have been arranged several times in a row. The search team finally arrives at the stopped cars to check if the passengers survived the collision. After a harrowing search, they give the confirmation that all 9 passengers are alive. The seriously injured assistant conductor is taken into the ambulance. The bomber girl is examined by the police for the first time. The girl tells the police that she has no regrets. The policeman states that she hates everything, but says that there are some things in the world that people can believe in, and shows that the money she asked for was collected through donations from the public, even though she didn't think it would happen. As our story ends, the surviving passengers show their gratitude to the conductor. Then the tired man returns with the peace of mind that comes from having done his job properly and greets his colleagues who join them along with the train operator.